Pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana. Fellow Guyanese, as a lot of you might be aware of the past, and many at present were told a little about it. As I want to enlighten you about the past, I want to make it clear. I am not here to condemn a political man, woman, or a party, but to speak on behalf of what I have seen growing up and the future where it lies. But I urge the two major races, and I keep on saying it steady. Our symbol of the country, 6 people, 6 nations, 1 destiny. Not 1 people, 1 nation, 1 destiny, as they told us. Because while the African descendants are claiming emancipation and slavery, the Indians are claiming day of arrival. And then I ask, where did the Portuguese arrive from? Are they aliens that they dropped from the sky? Or maybe they are water people that rise from the ocean as much as the Chinese. Now, the 4 major races that are foreigners to Guyana are the European as the Portuguese, and the Chinese as Chinese, and the East Indian descendant, and the African descendant, the 4. Not forgetting, the 4 met a race there before called the Amerindian, indigenous, 9 tribes. If you, the African descendant of today, will at any time claim emancipation, then the Amerindian can ask you to leave because they don't need you next to them. I have seen this display amongst African nations that put foreigners out of their country. Now, why am I saying that? If we continue with this emancipation, then that means we have an intention of something else. And if we continue with slavery, and then we happen to be the slave drivers and owners from 1966 even on to now, we got a problem. That is why it came to me in many sectors of life that Jesus stated in their gathering and speech, take the plank or the lumber out of your eyes before you take the dust out of your brother's eyes. And who knows it more than our black ancestors, friends, and family, and neighbors? Because we must know what wrong has given onto our generation in the past before we use it against others when we are much more civilized. As you see, life has many corners. And you, the East Indian descendant, which again I'm a part of both of you, claim day of arrival. Friends, I urge you in the name of God and in the name of a nation, stop talking arrival when you were born in British Guyana or Georgetown, Guyana, which was republic and independent, which I claim was not independent. Since knowing we have all these learned people in the past and present, pure doctors and lawyers, so we have problems. We had the late Fars Burnham, who was an attorney, one of the most well-spoken English language African descendant in the Caribbean and in Guyana. But that does not mean he's not wrong for the way he run Guyana. He lied to you, the black people. He used the uneducated to do his nasty work and some of his hitmen. And why am I lambasting on that? Because the man was very educated, well learned, and he should not do what he had done. But he had someone who misled him, the late Cheddi Jagan. The late Cheddi Bharat Jagan. There's a lot of rumors going around, but I want you all to understand. Dr. Jagan was born maybe in a Canefield family, respectful, because whatever he had done, his parents sent him to school, sister everybody. and they all marry foreigners according to information is alleged. Dr. Jagan was no saint to Guyana nor the Indian race, but he was very corrupt. You all might say that I'm wrong, but you got to prove it to me. But there is a God. You can lie to the people, but you cannot lie to the Almighty God. True to the late Jerry Jagan, with his communist ideology, and a woman by the name of Jeanette Rosenberg Jagan, who happens to be an American Jew born in Chicago, it's alleged, who met with Jerry Jagan in the time, and according to information, she was not to become the wife of the man. But because Jerry was engaged in the political thing and groups, like many of them in Brooklyn, in Harlem, and maybe wherever, she suddenly get into the equator and meet Dr. Jagan. And the woman that he was in love with, you don't hear nothing but her anymore. And Jeanette, yes, she was not only that she was in love with him, but she was an agent of other department who was looking for the promised land, coming from a Jewish ancestors, born in America. Guyana was the land that the Jewish people were supposed to be. But the American government, with the help of Chamberlain and others in Britain, says no. Take the land of Palestine, which was led by the British, as they had Guyana also, give the Jews the place of the Palestinian country to stay. Unfortunately today, we heard about the killing of 6 million Jews, the massacre, the gas chamber, but we must condemn any killing of one child, one woman, or one man. It is totally unfair to human civilization. Why am I saying these words? Maybe I'm instructed to say these things by the will of God. Or maybe the historian don't want you to know the truth. Since knowing my Jewish brothers and counterparts, and the world condemned Hitler for the massacre of the Jews, but not only the Jews, other millions of others, Africans and Indians and others, and Europeans, today we can proudly say, if it was not for the war, the European would have still owned Africa, India, and maybe China and the whole Caribbean, because colonial master lost the strength after World War II. France was destroyed, Poland, Belgium, Holland, England, and many more. Two Scandinavian countries was also involved. My fellow brothers and sisters, we follow historian and we get corrupt. We read the Bible and we think we are better than Jesus, Moses, and all the rest of them. We read the Quran, recite it, and yes, we believe that some of us are better than Prophet Muhammad. Peace be unto all these prophets. For the God that created them did not discriminate who is better, who is worse, who is fast, and who was slow. He put them here. So for you, my black brothers, in Guyana, the Caribbean, learn and go forward into the horizon. Whatever take part during the time of the European going to Africa, India, China, maybe it was ordained for it to happen to bring our ancestor out. We have Chinese in the Caribbean. We have them all over Latin and South America. We have them in Brazil and other places. And we have East Indian descendants who came, and like I know, the blacks were slaves, until came the endangered slavery, who's the Indian. For a bit, half a bit, a shilling, a farthing, or a pound. They were rent out. And they came in the West Indies, Fiji Island, some parts of Africa, and that is how cheap labor saved the slave trade. Slave was retaliating. And of course, you don't know me, I don't know you, I never see a white man never see a black man. So we are going to attack, and I only use the color to describe the situation at the given time. But the real true sense is European, African, Indian, China. My brothers and sisters, we, the modern generation, must come out of this nonsense. We must stretch our hands across the board to unite this world and make it a better place. What have we done to our sisters in the Caribbean as our black sisters, and we are our black brothers? We have them as child mothers. We treat them worse than we treat some dogs that live in our house or cats. They become our child mother, we become the child father. And for the East Indian descendant, is a lot of negativism amongst them, which came out from a system called caste system. No difference from the tribes of Africa or the Amerindian, which is indigenous people. But what amazed, many parts of Africa have 9 tribes of Africans descendant. And in Latin and South America and the United States and Canada, I think the Amerindian also have 9 tribes. In Guyana especially. But if we can understand and read and understand the feelings and punishment our ancestors went through, come on Ali, come on Barrett, come on Norton, don't let the Lord answer the call. Why are we treating the Amerindian less than a human being? Or like dogs, in some cases. Guyana is their own. We already admit that we arrived and we was emancipated as the black race, but we are not going back to Mother Africa, nor Mother India. I call upon Guyanese to stop it. Unite. I congratulate 22 to 23% of the blacks and Indians who intermarriage into any race to stop the racial tension and clash. You call it Douglas, cosmopolitan, or no nation. What is to understand we are a nation? But East Indian descendants in Guyana must never forget what happened to them in the 60s. And with the X-13 plan, read the Western Trial 1 and 2. It would have been the annihilation of the Indian race, especially the male. Ask the islander, I don't want to name the country where they came from, but they came through Trinidad, Chagaramas, out of Spain, under Eric William, government or prime minister time. And let it be known to all of you, Eric William's wife was and Burnham's first wife was Eric William's sister. And Dr. Jagan, if he had loved Guyana, why did he take Indrani, Kalauti, Sati, or Sita? But he takes Janeti. The man had, I call national taste, but foreign appetite. Same goes to Burnham. That's why I have nothing against foreigners, because we all came some way or the other. So I call upon you, the black race in Guyana. Stop condemning your African ancestors' link, for they are not the one that sold you to slavery. And slavery was a business. Y'all buy chicken, lamb, pig, cow. Did not you kill it to eat? Because it go in your system and you say digest and you feel good. You're committing murder, genocide, if you think that slavery was bad. So when you're trying to think of the chicken you're killing, the ducks and turkeys and the others in the fish, but we don't think of that because we're hungry. But we think of slavery and we become angry. Friends, we should learn from the past and make the correction. The African descendant of Africa is not your enemy. They didn't do it to you. The primitive heritage past, they're no longer here. That's all what we have in common. They annihilate their own brothers and family when they speak out against them. They are some of the richest 15 or 17 black African leaders in the world, exploiting their own African brother without European help. They control it. Burnham had share in the copper mine in Zambia, which is former Rhodesia, if I remember right, forgive me. As you know, I'm not a historian. but I travel a lot. And I want you to understand, don't blame America for what happened. You could blame them for one thing though. If they were protecting their country from communism and fascism, and they put George Korea as a leader of any one of the Caribbean country, Latin country, and they see I am doing bad, killing and massacring people and lying, they have a right to move me and appoint a leader that can unite the people and open up the doors to others. America have 120 million people or more.
340.
And opening the doors to foreigners that is coming because they have their hands involved in every country that you are aware of to protect their democracy and freedom and of course the economics. So if you put a man in control and he's doing bad, remove him, America. Replace him, not because you're getting gold, diamond and oil and lumber and you're allowing them to suffer people on behalf of your interests, for God will be the answer and will rock this country. You will not like it. Wake up. You have done a lot of good, but you also have done a lot of wrong things. And for this racial discrimination for my black brothers, stop it. White man been killing white man in Europe more than you ever know. Because every race was a slave. And you, the Moors and the blacks, had ruled this world many years ago. Go down to your history. Cleopatra, Nefertiti, Moses with woolly hair. I know one thing. A pig don't have woolly hair. Only a wolf and a lamb and other animals. So guess what? Only black people got woolly hair unless you mix with them. And we have to understand what happened in slavery was accepted by Almighty God because Abraham, and I can give you the 4-letter word, fuck his slave, that nasty old bastard. It's a figure of speech, and he called it love. But it's an English language. He had sex with his slave and lied. His wife Sarah told him, Abraham, since I can't bring forth you a child, go to bed with your slave. Isn't the slave have a right to say no? But she becomes the property of him. And therefore, we have seen what happened to our people in the Caribbean and elsewhere. Let's open up the doors to prosperity, unite, find a leader that is doing good, and put Guyana forward. Mr. Ali is trying his best amongst all of the rest, even though they are doctors and lawyers, and we must support him. But we want to change the court system and the constitution. No man is above the law. Judges, magistrates, prime minister, or president. And raise the salary for all civil servants, and every Guyanese must be given land to build their house, and money to build it without any party policy, for we are all Guyanese. More Amerindian must be in government, and other part in the country is their own. Let's work for a united Guyana under the blue sky with the help of God. Thank you.